Hello, Stephen and Abigail. Here is your sewer scope from today's inspection. It's me in the garage, not a normal place, especially right smack in the middle of the garage. There's your access point. A little challenging to make this first turn transition. It's a straight drop into the pipe. Usually there's kind of a long sweep elbow in the pipe that leads into it. So it's going to take a little while. I had to jam my arm down the hole and kind of nudge things along. So it'll take me a bit to get going. Also, obviously the water is not the cleanest water down there. So the lens is somewhat blocked, but you can see right there's roots. This is the transition between cast iron and a concrete pipe, a fortified concrete pipe. So there's a gap in there that the roots have been able to grow in. Whether they're actively growing or this is old growth that's no longer growing, I can't tell. I am going to recommend that it gets cleaned out. I mean, you've got a third of the pipe that's blocked, basically, and the proximity to the house, it's close enough where, I mean, you really don't want to take the chance that you're going to, create a backup, a dam in the pipe, and then have it flow back into the house. So I'm going to recommend at some point, in the near future, have it cleaned. And again, eventually I'll get going here. Slowly but surely. It'll take me again a little bit to really get kind of underway here. I'm also going to have to, at some point relatively close on, I'm going to have to stop, turn on some water just to clear off the camera lens for obvious reasons. Again, it's a sewer pipe, so it's not generally the cleanest water flowing through there, so it's challenging to wash the lens off with the water that's in the pipe. So running fresh water through and running it for a little bit of time definitely does help, and you'll see that here coming up in a little bit. We'll stay in concrete pipe just about up to about the 50-foot mark. Now, one thing to consider, proximity to the street. I mean, ultimately, I always like to try to get as far away from the city connection as possible to start the run. But as we pointed out earlier, the clean out was not, one, it wasn't very accessible, and two, that cap was basically welded on. At some point, if you do eventually take ownership in the house, you might want to have somebody cut that off and put a more accessible cap in there, and that way you'd have the ability to also see the entire length of the pipe. Those are cobwebs there, nothing to worry about there. I'm moving the camera head back and forth to try to wash things off. Again, eventually I'll stop and turn on a bigger flow of water. Like right here I've stopped. Nope, not yet. But soon. The concrete sections are in good shape. No big issues there with the pipes, no root growth or anything like that. My guess is that you're almost 100% underneath the driveway, just knowing where that where the clean out was on the floor in the driveway. Most likely it just went straight shot right out that way. And then again, coming up here in just a little bit, we'll transition into a different flavor of pipe, SDR. Here we go, right here. So greenish tint. This is a newer pipe, so my guess is that the city did an improvement. Yeah, limited visibility here. This is where I'll turn the water on and get a little bit of flow going to try to clean it off with some clear water. So at this point, we're either at the easement, which is typically 10 feet in from the curb, or in the city street. So we're coming close to the city connection, or at least that's my thinking at this point. It could go another 40, 50 feet, but typically it's 30, 35 feet most, depending if there's any kind of angle or direction change in the pipe. Ultimately, the return trip, and I keep the camera running when I'm pulling back as well. The return trip is completely clear, or clearer than this, obviously. There we go. Much better. I'll stop again here in a minute just to turn the water off. Good flow, no backup. There is benefit to running water when you're doing a sewer scope, because again you can see if the functional drainage of the pipe is good. All right, so at 85 feet, we're going to come to this pivot right here. So that's PVC. Connections generally are that. I'm thinking that this was the city connection. Looked like it was a bigger pipe flowing into it. So 86, 87 feet. Somewhat characteristic of what the city pipe looks like. So at this point, I am shutting the water off. I'll jump into that. I mean, I typically don't like to jump into the city connection, but I'm not 100% sure that that's what it is. So I'll do that, and then I'll go out another 5, 8, 10 feet. I'll see an inlet into the pipe, and I'm assuming at that point that that's a connection from one of your neighbors, although in hindsight it could be an exterior clean out. So long story short, I'm not 100% clear that this is the city connection. I think it is. Again, it has that look to it. So it's that drop in. And again, like I said, in a minute I'll jump in there and I'll run out a little bit into the pipe just to see what I see. So again, that could be water flowing from the right, from, again, the main line. So in the pipe, again, I'll push out a little bit. And then I'll see this inlet right here. And then I'm thinking to myself that this could be another pipe connecting in. I'm like, okay, we're probably in the city pipe. Again, I can't say 100% for sure, but everything looks that way, and ultimately everything up to that point looks really, really good. Like I said, I'm going to keep the camera rolling. For the return journey, if you want to watch the way back, you're more than welcome to. Please reach out to me with any questions, or if you need any guidance on anything. I'm always happy to be a resource.